We are going to be talking about some fun stuff, healthy food obviously because we're with Stacey. But we're just going to be having fun, talking about stuff, going over health things, going over life issues that some of us have. We both don't have kids, so this is going to be really cool to just talk about womanhood in our 20s and 30s and like what we experience and like the stresses that we may be feeling and so on. So it's going to be a little bit different than the other videos with moms or women that are, you know, I guess in their late 30s and in their 40s. So we're going to be going on totally different topics. So this one's for you if you don't have kids and, you know, you're a millennial, I guess, if you want to call us that. And just want to, you know, talk about healthy or learn more about healthy food. And yeah, so on JL Moves page, this is going to be actually part of my YouTube channel, YouTube series of cooking classes. I still haven't figured out a name. I still don't know what to call this, but I'm recording it anyways. But if you are interested, just check out my page and you'll see my YouTube channel. I'm going to be putting my YouTube channel on there to get more info and to find out all the other videos that I'm going to be posting. But yeah, Stacey, what are we making today?
Well, so I want to add to that though, but because both of us, we do work with a lot of moms.
Yes.
So some of that stuff might come into play as well anyways.
Yeah, we can talk about that too.
We'll talk about it all.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we're making today, so the first thing we're making is my super fast chili recipe. So for those of you who are watching live, if you've done my detox program or my reset program, you might have had this chili before, but it's like one of the fan favorites. And it's super easy, which is why we're making it. Maybe we'll switch spots because then I can, it's all on this side.
Okay, so you just tell me what I need, but let's just open up some bubbly.
Some bubbly. Naturopathic bubbly is Perrier.
It's Perrier.
Which I'm like so
looking forward
to.
Thank you for bringing this. Are we going to cheers? I think this is going to be the theme of every single video.
Bubbly?
It's just bubbly. Whether you do champagne or whether you do Perrier, I'm not judging.
If you do too many in one day, you're going to like...
That's going to be aggressive.
Are we going to cheers?
Yes, we are. Cheers to
good
health. Okay.
Oh, that was so refreshing. Let's make some chili.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so step one with chili is some sort of ground meat. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, totally fine. You can just skip this step. If you are a meat eater like me, what I did is I already pre-prepared this. So this is ground chicken, already cooked. But what you would do to start the recipe is you would cook up some ground chicken, turkey is what I prefer. Red meat is something to only be had once in a while. So if you're going to do ground beef, once a month is what I recommend. So here I have ground chicken. And I'm going to put, I think you guys can see this. So I'm going to put everything in this. This is my chili pot. So the ground chicken is in. I pre-prepared everything to make things kind of easier. So after the ground chicken, this is black beans. Ooh, this is 2 cans of black beans. I also don't like to measure or...
I was actually going to say, for this episode in particular, Stacey's really good at making it so easy. Like, so easy. So, and the less dishes we have to wash.
Yeah. The ease. That's why I'm a big fan of the Instant Pot.
Yes, you've mentioned that.
So,
yeah, so
I know. So I do like the Instant Pot because it's one dish and then that's it.
I love it.
So this here is 2 cans of black beans. I've already opened them. I rinsed them. I put them in here. Full disclosure, came from a can because it's easy. Yeah. So this is from a can. And again, I don't measure, so I just bought 2 cans. I don't even know how big they were. My recipe calls for 15 ounces each, but I think these were the cans were 19 ounces each.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
Beans are good.
It's going to turn out well anyways. So what I like to do, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but usually what I would do with 1 can of the beans, maybe we'll get a plate, is mash them up.
Oh.
And you can actually use your hands. You want to wash your hands?
Okay, go for it. Oh, well, we're getting right into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Walking right by the camera.
So what I'm going to do is less is more when it comes to dishes. So I'm going to put some of these beans in here. And and then we're gonna get these mashed up. So the reason is the chili tastes really good when there's lots of different textures. So we're gonna use, this is about 1.5 cans. I'm not gonna mash them up. I'm just gonna put them straight in here. And then I'm gonna get you can use your hands to just mash those up.
Okay.
So yeah, just whatever. However mashed up they get is perfect.
Nice. Perfect. And why black beans? Why are we adding the beans in there?
The beans are a good source of protein and an amazing source of fiber.
Good.
So beans are awesome. The chili recipe is a high protein recipe because you're getting the ground meat plus the beans. So this is something that should keep you full for a long time. So if you're having this for lunch, it should be able to maintain you till at least dinner.
It also helps not spike your insulin level, and I feel like I was making those cookies, so I made, I did 2 videos in one day, but like I made almond flour, coconut flour cookies, like thumbprint cookies, and the jam that I used had like very low sugar, and we used coconut sugar instead of regular sugar, and half of the recipe anyway, so we're just talking about like the high fat and the high fiber content to like help slow down
keep your blood sugar stable. So for people who have that afternoon crash, having something like this for lunch would help to keep you a little bit stable. I don't know if people are writing things.
They are. Go check it out. I'm still mashing beans. Oh, is that other? Is that margarita? Yes, it is. I see you.
Oh, okay. Awesome. You guys just did a video, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you guys are sweet. Okay, so while you're mashing that up, I'm going to move on. So this is tomato sauce. This is by Aurora. I love this company. This is what I'm using today. Usually at Costco I would buy, they have the organic tomato sauce for pasta. I just have tons of that at home, so I use that. This is strictly just tomatoes and salt. There's nothing else in it.
Nice.
Look at the ingredients, tomatoes and salt. So the recipe calls for 2 8-ounce cans. Again, I don't measure. This is way more than that. This is 23 ounces. The recipe calls for 16, but who cares?
Because where are we going to use it again anyway?
Yeah. And it's chili. Baking, you have to be more careful.
Yeah.
I'm making a chili.
Yeah, when it comes to like cooking recipes, like just add whatever. It's just the salt that you have to be more cautious.
Yeah,
of.
so that's why I like the organic one from Costco. It doesn't have any of that added. It has basil and has some spices, but there's no added salt. So for somebody who has high blood pressure, somebody who we're concerned about sodium, this does have sodium in it. So yeah, just to be aware of that. And then the secret ingredient is a jar of chunky salsa.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The chunkier the better. So this was just what I had in the fridge. So
you know how much time you just saved, people? You don't have to cut peppers, you don't have to cut onions, and it already has flavor.
And it already has the spices that you need. So this one's mild. If you like it spicier, get a spicy one.
Wow, you just
But
saved so
this has
much time.
onions, peppers, vegetables, tomatoes, jalapenos, garlic. This is like the secret ingredient.
And it smells so yummy.
So 1 jar of this, again, this is the size of jar I had. If I had a bigger jar, I would put a bigger jar.
Don't worry, it's just chili.
But I mean,
You can play
the
around
recipe
with
calls
it.
for 1 jar of medium or hot.
Do you feel like this is mushed up enough? Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
So she's got her hands real nice and oh, doesn't that smell good? That sauce.
So good.
So this is just mashed up here, so I'm gonna throw it in. It's just it helps.
Here, I'll scoop it all up.
It helps to give different textures.
Yeah.
Oh, you're blocking.
Oops. There you go.
There we go. Okay. What else is happening?
thank yes, it's me.
Okay, next, corn. So the recipe calls for half a cup of frozen corn. Again, I was pressed for time. I'm a busy woman, so I got a can.
We all are.
So this is a can of corn.
Nice. And it has a little extra sweetness in it anyway, so it's okay.
Can of corn. If you're somebody who's sensitive to corn or somebody who I've told that you're not allowed to eat corn, you can put in whatever you want. You could instead put in celery, you could put in peppers, You could even put in peas, so it doesn't have to be corn.
Peas is good because it's frozen and has that same sweetness.
Yeah, so whatever you want. For this recipe today, I'm putting corn in. And then the last ingredient is some chili powder. So up to you. If you think that it's spicy enough with whatever the sauce you put, the salsa you put in, you don't necessarily need to do this. It's a tablespoon of chili powder. So I'm gonna put a little less because I know the people who are gonna be eating this don't like spicy food. So
who's eating it?
Me and my boyfriend. So he's a baby.
She said it. It's out there.
Oh, he doesn't watch it. Okay, so that's it. And then we mix it up. Look at that. I just stirred up the chili. And that's it.
Perfect. That's done. And then how long would you cook it for?
I don't think you can see the inside. So I would put it on the stove for half an hour.
Nice.
Just let it simmer. Cook on medium, simmering, and then that's it.
Nice. Done. Perfect.
Done.
Easy.
You could even...
You can cook it all in one pot too. Like you could cook the turkey in there.
Yeah.
Cook it and then add the tomato sauce, add the salsa, and then at the end add the corn, the beans, and the mushed up beans. And you're good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Done.
Done. Chili's done, so dinner's ready.
See, babe, dinner's ready.
Super excited about it. Okay. I don't know if we're all still in here now. So now we're going to make dessert. Is this one mine?
Yeah, that's yours. I'm just going to move this out of the way for you.
Okay. So today is focused on things that are easy to make and also black beans.
Nice.
Because now we're going to make black bean brownies.
Perfect.
We're going to try and get all this in here. Okay. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so black bean brownies. Now again, we have here 1 can of black beans. So the theme is what you can do with black beans.
Perfect.
So we're putting it in the food processor. And this is just a Ninja food processor.
Nice.
Okay, so now you're gonna have to help me.
Okay.
So we've got some cacao powder. So this is how we're gonna make it chocolatey. Don't worry about that.
There's like salsa on there.
Okay.
Wipe it down.
So she's gonna wash that for me. And I'm gonna see what's happening here. Okay.
Yeah, we're still good.
We're good. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of the cacao powder.
Okay.
That was a heaping tablespoon.
So that was 2. That was 2. Sorry, I thought it said teaspoon. I'm getting my glasses next week.
Why don't we? That's good. Why don't we
Yeah?
just do that? Yeah, because I'm gonna put some
Protein?
chocolate protein powder in it.
that.
So that's good. That's perfect. There you go. So then next, salt. I don't have any salt, but usually we put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm too lazy to get it.
That's awesome.
There's some somewhere, but you guys can put salt in.
It's fine.
I'm
Low
like
sodium.
whatever's easy will do. And then next is 2/3 cups of oats. So you can do rolled oats. This is steel cut oats. The rolled oats usually bake better, but this is what I had, and it still turns out delicious even with this.
Okay, perfect.
So I did measure this ahead of time. This is 2/3 cups of steel cut oats. We're just gonna go in here. And then next, we're gonna do some honey. So we need a 1/4 cup of raw honey.
Is this the Manuka honey?
No, so usually I cook everything with Manuka honey, but I ran out of it. So this is just organic, unpasteurized honey. But Manuka honey is like my absolute favorite. So Manuka honey is really antimicrobial. They actually use it in some hospitals for, for some, I don't know if that's open.
Nope.
They use it when people have burns to help heal the burns. So very antimicrobial. It's good for people who have H. pylori. Good for sore throats, any type of infection. So usually I bake with it, I cook with it, I put it in my tea. I just didn't have any, so this was what I had.
The alternative.
This was the alternative. Okay, so we're gonna do a quarter cup.
There we go. It works now.
Perfect. So the Manuka honey, if anybody has used it or is going to use it, it's much thicker.
And it has like a richer taste too.
It does. It has a very different.
Yeah, it's not like the usual just sweet stuff. It's just a little bit more intense. But it's like a good it's a good intense. I don't know. It's like having like a regular tomato sauce versus having like your grandma make tomato sauce or something. I don't know. It's just like a little bit more richer.
Yeah.
If that even makes sense.
But when you bake with it, it's good. Like
yeah,
it's, you don't...
no, I just thought it would like not that it makes a difference in by any means. It's just not so sugary.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Are we ready for next up?
Yes, we are.
So now we need 1/3 cup of coconut oil. See, I hate that these are all attached because now what do you do with this one?
Well, you can take it out like this.
See?
There you go.
That's why.
So, do you want me to open this all the way?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I got, okay, so I just had coconut oil, and it's in like in a container. It's like a plastic container. Is there any difference between this one versus that?
No. So usually I buy the big jar of coconut oil from Costco. That massive one.
Yeah.
So the only reason I brought this instead was because I didn't want to have to bring that whole jar. So that's why. That's
I feel like
perfect.
that's
Yeah, that's perfect. So usually that's what I would use, and that one is in a plastic container. Okay, and then we need 1 teaspoon of the baking powder. And while she's doing that, I'm going to put, so these are dark chocolate chips.
nice.
And we're going to do, actually I'm not going to put them in yet, but they're open, ready to go. So the last thing that I'm going to add in here is a scoop of chocolate protein powder. So I talked about this protein powder the last time we did.
What did we make the last time?
Oh, we made a smoothie. So I'm just putting like a heaping scoop of the chocolate protein powder. You could put vanilla, but we're making chocolate brownies, so.
Yeah, enhance the chocolate.
Enhance the chocolate. So this is the protein powder that it's 70% collagen, so it's great for hair, skin, and nails, joints. And it also has 21 grams of protein in it.
Perfect.
It's sweetened with stevia, so it's also going to help to sweeten these things up.
Perfect.
So now that we have this all in here, what we would, if we were at home, I would preheat the oven to 350. So for those of you who are going to make this recipe, we're going to preheat the oven to 350. And then we're going to mix it up.
Perfect. Alright, it's going to get loud now.
It's going to get loud. I'm going to make sure I don't miss anything.
No, I think you got it.
Okay. So let's see how this goes. Turn it on. Push things down. Oh, it smells so good.
It's so chocolatey.
Perfect. So I'm just gonna bring it down on the sides. Oh my goodness. Do you smell that?
Super rich in chocolate.
Yeah.
This is another treat that you can have that's like really good when you are having cravings and stuff. So
yeah, and again, it's high in protein, it's high in fiber, so it's a good snack to keep you stable. You only really need a small piece, and you'll feel full.
yeah.
So when you have like regular treats, it's like you eat and then you need more and more and more and more.
And then you feel like crap afterwards, and you feel like you regret every decision you've made.
Okay, so I'm gonna just blend it one more time so it's gonna get loud again. That's out, I have an 8x8 baking pan, container. So you want to get some coconut oil?
Yes, let's put some coconut oil so it doesn't stick us on them.
Yeah, perfect. And while she's doing that, I am going to take out
and I'm just using my hands.
That's the best way to do it. And the other thing with this is if you have kids or if it's just you, it's totally safe to lick the raw batter.
Yeah, it is.
There's no eggs. So that's what we're going to do after this. So I'm just getting all the chocolate off. And I'm just going to throw in some chocolate chips. This is already smelling pretty chocolatey, so the recipe calls for half. I'll probably do just under half a cup. And these are dark chocolate. And we're just going to fold it in. These are going to be so good. Okay, we're good over there?
Yep, we are all greased up.
Okay, so I'm just folding the chocolate chips in. And now I'm just going to pour it into the baking pan. So it's a very sticky
Yeah, these look like they're going to be dense.
Yeah.
They look like they're going to be dense. That's okay though. We like chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate?
But the density is good because that's what's going to keep you full. So you only need a little bit. It's like that chocolatey craving that you have. It's going to be satisfied. Okay, normally you cut it all out, but... And then you just pat it in here. Spread it out. And that's it. You got your brownies. And then they're going to go in the oven for... How long did I put them in for?
20 minutes?
20 to 25 minutes. And it's the same as when you're baking anything else. You can use a fork and wait for it to come out clean. And then just let it sit for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Perfect. All right, so we did the cooking component. Everything's going to be baking in our virtual oven. And our chili's going to be cooking on our virtual stovetop. And Stacey's going to show, honestly, she's going to show the final product later on or tomorrow of how it all looked.
Yeah.
And so on. But we're just going to actually just chat about stuff that people may be facing, whether it's just woman stuff.
Okay.
That's all.
Are we going to go sit on the couch to do that?
We're going to go sit on the couch.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we'll check in with you in a bit. Yeah. All right. Part 2 to our series. Well, we did this, it's March 1st, but we did it in January. Yeah. When we talked about hormones and stuff like that, which was really cool. I guess we kind of missed the mark of February, but that's okay.
It was a short month.
It was. I know. It was a short month. But yeah, so we are here. We are going to be chatting just about stuff that people are facing. And I think, Stacey, like in this case, like, let's not even pick a topic. Like, why don't you just go with, like, things that you find with your clients that people are facing. Like, we all know that, like, women are trying to lose weight. We retain fat easier than men do. Our time is a little bit different. We multitask, our confidence, this, that, whatever. We get all of this, not to undermine it, but, like, let's talk about something serious.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, what are you finding as, like, as a naturopath with just health in general? Like, what challenges are you facing with your clinic?
Well, I think a big thing that almost every one of my patients is coming in with is anxiety.
Wow, yeah.
So that's something that is a big topic and definitely something that we can talk about. But yeah, women, not even, like, tons of middle-aged women with anxiety, but also, like, young adults coming in with anxiety.
And young adults meaning, like, how young?
Well, I mean, as young as...
Because I don't, like, young adults, I'm saying, like, mid-20s. Is that a young adult?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-20s to, like, early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah. But just everyone, so my belief, or what we talk about at the Spark Institute, is everybody has a mental health, and you just fall somewhere on the spectrum depending on what you're going through.
Yeah.
So there can be times where it's debilitating, meaning like you can't leave the house, and there's times where it's manageable, where you can feel your heart might be racing a little bit, but you're able to kind of calm yourself down and talk yourself out of it. But that's definitely a health concern that I'm seeing a lot.
It's happening more and more each day. I feel like even at the gym, a lot of ladies come in with anxiety. They probably don't even know that it is, but I noticed even for myself, I went through my little bit of that, opening up my own space and having my own clientele and creating my community. I'm getting a lot better at it now. I will say I'm figuring out what I want, but at the same time, I noticed it too. Like, you know, sleep is the number one thing that coincides with anxiety, right? Like, people are probably looking at their ceilings, like, why can't I sleep? But little do they know that it has to do with like the anxiety that they just feel over the day, and how do you expel that anxiety, right? So yeah, that's really interesting that you mentioned that. It's like something that everybody has. Either we use the term very lightly, or it's something that we are still trying to figure out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like use the word stress. So they'll be like, oh, I'm so stressed. And that might be like, when I talk about the spectrum, that's like one end of the spectrum, and then like panic attacks or consistent anxiety is kind of like the other end of the spectrum. But yeah, it affects everything. So it'll affect somebody's digestion, their mood, their ability to sleep, their hormones. It's something that everyone knows what it feels like to feel anxious, but there's a different level when it's debilitating, meaning like it's affecting your everyday life and your ability to, you know, work or be in social settings, that sort of stuff. And
the worst part is when people just say, okay, well, just get over it. Right? Like,
you wish you could just get over it.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I actually watched a documentary on Netflix called Heal.
I've watched it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I love it.
You guys need to go watch it. It is so... after I watched that, I was like, whoa, I'm gonna get like into my spiritual realm. Like, I'm gonna pray. I'm going to like believe, like positive. But it's so interesting how we've kind of like distanced ourselves from like the spiritual aspect of life. Like, just not even spiritual, doesn't have to be like God, but just like our connection with the universe and our connection between people. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I watched that recently too. And yeah, I think it is really important to get in touch with the spiritual side of things when it comes to healing. And what I love, for some people who are that's a little bit too far removed from them, is acupuncture.
Wow.
Because acupuncture is an energetic medicine, and it helps to realign whatever emotions feel out of whack. And for some people, it's easier to do that before they dive deep into the whole spiritual side of things. So I like that as a place to start. Also, for people with anxiety or stress, getting acupuncture actually puts your body into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system. So when people feel anxious or they are under a lot of stress, it pushes their body into the fight or flight, which is when your heart starts racing, you get hot, digestion goes. So getting the acupuncture will force your body into that relaxation state, which is... Okay, so it's same for people who have IBS or digestive concerns. So your body's stuck in this fight or flight. So all the resources in your body are going to your arms and your legs so that you can run away from that bear, or so you can...
Really?
So your digestion doesn't have any resources. So that's why also people who have IBS, or they're told, oh, your stress is making your digestion worse. That's why.
Okay. So what are so one thing you mentioned, you know, doing your gratitude list, even meditation, anything else? I've been actually taking valerian root or valerian root.
Valerian root, yeah.
That's been helping a lot. Like I'll take it before bed, and it's actually like an instant feeling. Like it's just like like my limbs just feel like they're just shutting down. I'm like, okay, everything's calming down.
Yeah. So there's lots of good things for anxiety. It depends on what you're dealing with. So if you're somebody who's very sensitive, I usually start with just a tea, because sometimes if you're under a lot of anxiety and you're a very sensitive person, taking something like valerian root might be too much. And also we have to find out if it's because of your stress response. So if it's because of going through stress for so long, like maybe your example, an adaptogenic herb is going to be something that's going to help you. So it's called an adaptogenic herb. So they're called adaptogens because they help you to adapt to stress.
Wow.
So some good example, like the most popular example that most people know of is rhodiola.
Okay.
Another one is ashwagandha.
Okay.
So those are my two favorites. So those are, like I said, they're adaptogens, so they help your body to cope with the stress. So as a naturopath, we're always trying to get to the root cause, right? We want to figure out why it's happening and treat it from there. But some other great things is GABA. So GABA is something that you can take in the moment. Like if you're feeling anxious, you can pop one, and usually it should give you like a calming effect pretty instantly. Kava root is also another good one. So there's lots of good herbs. It just depends on your case.
Okay, and how would you know? Just like, I guess you would have to come and see me, right?
Yeah, but you can try things. Like GABA is usually something I recommend people try, because it's easy enough. You take it when you feel anxious, and you just see if it helps or not. Baby's crying. You can also try like you did with the valerian root and just see, right? You have to kind of figure out what's going to work best for you.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are facing anxiety on a regular basis, and that's a really good way of putting it. And just there are a lot of things out there. It's just like knowing what's the right thing and trying your best to do it as natural as possible.
Yeah, and I mean another thing to consider is like going back to the basics. Like, are you eating well? Are you sleeping? Are you exercising? And then are you doing the spiritual side of things as well? Those are like the pillars, the fundamentals. And then taking something like a supplement is just that. It's just meant to supplement what you're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, awesome. That was great. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for coming. It's so fun.
But thank you again for like discussing some real hard topics and sharing the bubbly water with me. Yes. And we will do this again 100% and talk about so many different things. So if you're watching this and you're like, you have so many questions, maybe you're going through something or what have you, we've created this community to vocalize real topics, because we're real professionals that are out here trying to help you guys. So if you have anything, you can either send us an email, DM us on our Instagram, or just send us a text or give us a shout. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and it's going to be on my YouTube series, and it's also going to be on Stacey's. So see you hopefully at the gym, and
and come to the clinic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.